almost everyone in your life has told you the same thing. Renting is throwing money away. Buying a home is the best investment you'll ever make. But what if that advice is costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars? The math behind buying versus renting is way more complicated than anyone lets on. And today, we're going to run the real numbers. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which option actually builds more wealth. Intro. Here's the problem. Most people make the biggest financial decision of their lives based on a feeling, on what their parents told them, on what society expects. Almost nobody actually sits down and does the math. And the few who do, they usually forget half the costs. The housing market has shifted dramatically over the last few years. Mortgage rates doubled. Home prices are still near all-time highs in most cities, and yet the pressure to buy, to plant roots, to build equity has never been louder. So let's slow down. Let's look at both sides honestly, because the right answer is not the same for everyone. Section 1. The hidden costs of buying. Let's start with buying, because this is where most people get blindsided. You find a home listed at $400,000. You think, okay, I'll put 20% down. That's $80,000. And my mortgage is on the remaining $320,000. Simple, right? Not even close. First, there are closing costs. These typically run between 2% and 5% of the purchase price. On a $400,000 home, that's $8,000 to $20,000, paid up front before you even move in. Then you've got property taxes. In the United States, the average effective property tax rate is around 1.1% per year. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,400 every single year. Money that never builds equity, money that never stops. Then there's homeowner's insurance. Add roughly $2,500 to $2,000 per year. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, kicks in if you put down less than 20%. That can add another $100 to $200 per month to your payment. And then there's maintenance. Financial experts consistently recommend budgeting 1% to 2% of your home's value every single year for repairs and upkeep. On a $400,000 home, that's $4,000 to $8,000 a year. New roof, $15,000. HVAC system, $10,000. Water heater, $1,500. These costs are not optional. They are inevitable. So when you add it all up, mortgage interest, taxes, insurance, maintenance, and closing costs, the true cost of that $400,000 home over 30 years is often closer to $800,000 or even $900,000. That number needs to be in your head before you ever sign anything. Section 2. The mortgage interest trap. Here's something most first-time buyers don't realize. In the early years of a mortgage, almost all of your monthly payment goes to interest, not the principal, not equity. Interest. Let's say you take out a $320,000 mortgage at a 7% interest rate, which is roughly where rates are right now. Your monthly payment is around $2,030. In your very first payment, about $1,167 of that goes straight to the bank as interest. Only $263 chips away at your actual loan balance. You'd need to make payments for several years before you're even close to a 50-50 split. Over the full 30-year life of that loan, you'll pay nearly $447,000 in interest alone. On a $320,000 loan. Think about that. You're paying back almost double what you borrowed, and that's before taxes, insurance, or a single repair. Section 3. What renters can do with that money. Now let's talk about renting, and specifically, the power of what you can do with the money you're not spending. This is where the conversation gets interesting. Let's say you rent a comparable home for $2,000 a month instead of buying. Your homeowner equivalent would be paying $2,130 for the mortgage alone, plus taxes, insurance, and maintenance, which easily pushes the true monthly cost to $2,800 or $3,000 a month. That's a difference of $800 to $1,000 every single month. What if you invested that difference? If you put $800 a month into a simple index fund, something that tracks the S&P 500, which has historically returned about 10% per year on average, over 30 years, that investment grows to roughly $1.8 million. Let that sink in. While homeowners talk about their house appreciating in value, a disciplined renter investing the savings could potentially build more wealth. Now, home prices do go up over time, historically about 3% to 4% per year on average nationally. A $400,000 home might be worth $970,000 after 30 years. But after you subtract the $447,000 in interest, the $130,000 in maintenance, taxes, and insurance, your actual profit looks a lot less impressive than the headline number. Section 4. When buying actually wins. Here's where I want to be completely fair, because buying is not always the wrong move. Far from it. There are very real scenarios where buying wins, and they come down to a few key factors. First, time. If you plan to stay in a home for 10 years or more, buying almost always starts to make financial sense. Why? Because you spread those massive upfront costs, closing costs, early interest payments, over a much longer time horizon. The break-even point in most markets is somewhere between 5 and 8 years. If you're moving in 3 years, you will almost certainly lose money buying. Second, leverage. When you buy a home, you're controlling a $400,000 asset with $80,000 down. If that home appreciates 10%, which is $40,000 in value, that's a 50% return on your $80,000 investment. You can't get that kind of leverage safely anywhere else. Third, stability. A fixed-rate mortgage locks in your housing cost. Your landlord can raise rent. The bank cannot raise your mortgage payment. In high-inflation environments, that predictability is worth real money. Section 5. The price-to-rent ratio. So how do you actually decide? There's one number that cuts through all the noise. It's called the price-to-rent ratio, and it's your single most powerful tool in this decision. Here's how it works. Take the purchase price of a home and divide it by the annual rent for a comparable home. If a home costs $400,000 to buy and rents for $2,000 a month, that's $24,000 a year, the ratio is $400,000 divided by $24,000, which equals about 16.7. The general rule goes like this. A ratio below 15 typically favors buying. A ratio between 15 and 20 is a gray zone. Other factors matter more. A ratio above 20 strongly favors renting. In expensive cities like San Francisco, New York, or Los Angeles, these ratios regularly hit 30, 40, even higher. That's the market telling you the math doesn't work for buyers. In smaller cities in the Midwest, ratios below 15 are common, and that's where buying tends to win clearly. Section 6. The real question to ask yourself. Here's the thing nobody talks about. This isn't just a math problem, it's a life problem. Buying gives you stability, control, and the ability to build equity in a forced savings plan. Because, let's be honest, most people aren't disciplined enough to invest the difference. Renting gives you flexibility, liquidity, and freedom. If your city's job market dries up, you can move. If your family situation changes, you can adapt. You're not anchored. The worst financial decision isn't buying, and it isn't renting. The worst financial decision is buying before you're ready, taking on a mortgage that strains your budget, draining your emergency fund for a down payment, buying in a market where the price-to-rent ratio is 35 because someone told you you're throwing money away by renting. That's the real trap. Outro. So here's what you need to walk away with today. Number 1, calculate the full cost of buying, not just the mortgage. Taxes, insurance, maintenance, and interest add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars over time. Number 2, Use the price-to-rent ratio in your specific market. It tells you more than any general advice ever will. The buy versus rent debate doesn't have one universal answer. It has your answer, based on your city, your timeline, and your financial situation. If this video made you think differently about homeownership, hit that like button and subscribe. We break down the real numbers on money every single week. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you team buy or team rent right now? I read every single one,